Hello everyone, this video contains latest information about COVID-19 vaccine and I hope this video helps you further. Work from home, stay at home, wear mask, maintain 2-meter social distance, sanitize your hands and wash your hands frequently. These are some of the major common words we are hearing from past 8 months, and let's get to know why these words become so familiar to our working life, and I hope that everyone knows that this is only the mantra for our healthy life. Before starting with the PPT, let's get familiar with some basic definitions because it will help you to understand this whole presentation. Vaccine, vaccinization and immunization. Vaccine. What does a vaccine means? You are hearing it daily on news channels and from past 2-3 months. Vaccines prepare your immune system, getting it ready to fight disease causing organisms called pathogens, and that pathogens can be bacteria, virus, fungi, elements, parasite, etc. And it can be anything. It may be new to the body or it may be old to the body. A vaccine is introduced to the body to mimic the infection, triggering the body to produce antibodies against the pathogen but without causing illness. So vaccine can be called as a memory for the body, where the body prepares itself for any further future infection from the same pathogen. What does vaccination means? It is the act of introducing vaccine into the body to produce immunity to a specific disease. It is just a simple definition. And what does immunization? Immunization, the word has came from the immune system. The immune system is a network of biological process that protects an organism against any disease. It detects and responds to a wide variety of pathogens like virus, parasitic forms, as well as cancer cells. Many species have two major subsystems of immune system, innate and adaptive. I will explain it in next slide. But here, what does immunization means? So immunization is a process by which the person becomes protected after taking the vaccine. And this term is often used with vaccine or vaccinization. Now here, I was explaining the previous slides, immunity or immune system. Okay, so here we have two types of immune system, adaptive and innate immunity. This innate immunity is the immunity which we have from the by birth. We don't need it artificially. But adaptive immunity is artificial immune system. We take we take it in the form of vaccine just our birth. That vaccine contains artificial antibodies. Innate immunity, antibodies are already present inside our body. We don't need artificial antibody in the form of vaccine. But for adaptive immunity, we need artificial antibodies. Like after birth, we have BCG vaccine, we have polio vaccine, we have Mills vaccine, we have smallpox vaccine. These all types of vaccine a newborn baby takes just after its birth. The major role which plays in immune system are the B cells and T cells. These two cells play a major role in immune system to trigger any immune system, to activate or deactivate any immune system. Okay, B cells, T cells, they both produce antibodies, but they both respond to different type of cells. The only difference is that they respond to different type of cells, but they both produce same type of antibodies. B cells produce antibodies for any allergic reaction. T cells produce antibody for any major disease. Okay, now here in this presentation we are mainly focusing for the coronavirus. So we will talking about mainly for coronavirus only. So 2020 became a pandemic, and this was a roller coaster year for everyone, I think for everyone, due to this major word that is coronavirus. But this virus is not new. So here I will tell you the history of this virus. In 1965, the strain of this virus was detected in a boy with the symptoms of common cold, and at that time the strain was named as B814. Then in 1966, the same symptoms but with different strain, and that strain was named as 229E. Then in 1967, some scientists at National Institute of Allergy, they studied that virus and they cultured B814 virus to grow into a new human virus strain and named as OC43. And then in 1968, all the three strains, and June Almeida, they imaged coronavirus and they published a paper in Nature, and they proposes that this virus is isolated human viruses, and this was named as coronavirus. Why coronavirus? Because the structure of this virus is like the virus is wearing crown outside its body. That's why coronas. Corona means crown, and then the scientists name it as coronavirus. Then in 2003, actually SARS was detected in a boy in southern China. The first case was registered under the name of coronavirus. Coronavirus have its two types, SARS and MERS. In 2003, SARS case was registered, and in 2000, here you can see in 2012, MERS was registered. Okay, SARS is severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS is Middle East respiratory syndrome. Here SARS is more severe than MERS because SARS multiplication power is more than MERS. Then in 2004, 10 to 12 same cases was registered in Netherlands in a child with having symptoms pneumonia. Don't confuse the symptoms of pneumonia with coronavirus. The starting symptoms of coronavirus is pneumonia, but it gets severe day by day. Then in 2005, another strain in Hong Kong named as HKU1 was registered. In 2012, MERS virus was registered in Saudi Arabia. And then 2020 declared as pandemic for SARS-CoV-2. And the first case was registered in Wuhan. So this was the history of virus. Everyone knows or everyone thinks that the vaccine is being developed within 8 months. No, this development of vaccine within 8 months is the hard work of from past 10 years. The scientists are studying this virus from the past 10 years, and then this vaccine is developed within 8 months. Now we will talk how the vaccine was developed or is being developed 8 months. What is the stages of vaccine? It has two stages, exploratory stage and preclinical stage. Exploratory stage is the basic laboratory research, or you can say that the basic study which scientists do for at most 2 to 4 years on this virus, bacteria, or it can be anything. What does they study for 2 to 4 years? They study that which type of antigen is producing by this virus and how they are triggering the immune response. And they also study on this virus that can this virus be effective with already developed vaccine. Like if we take example the hydroxychloroquine, which was found to be effective for the patient with positive coronavirus, but by the way hydroxychloroquine was is the medicine for malaria, but it found that it was effective for some patients. So exploratory stage is the stage where this type of study is made that already developed vaccine is being effective for this virus or not, or we have to develop some new vaccine. And the second is the preclinical stage. It's the stage of tissue culture or cell culture. What does the culture means here? Culture means that the scientists take one piece of virus and they culture in the artificial medium inside the lab, and they make it multiply several times, and they make it several copies of this virus, and they study on each and every virus in the animals or in the artificial form, that how they are triggering the immune response, how much they are stronger than the human immune response, what types of antigens they are producing, what types of antibodies this virus needs, what kind of protein they are producing. So all this type of study is done in preclinical stage. And also they also find this in preclinical stage that we need to step in the next phase or not, how much effective the vaccine has to made. So this preclinical stage lasts for 1 to 2 years, which usually involves research in private industry. But the study has been found out that many candidate vaccine never progress beyond this stage because they fail to produce the desired immune response. If frankly speaking, to study the immune response or to producing exact vaccine according to the immune response is being difficult, because our immune response makes the responses according to environment. That's why this virus is mutating due to this changing environment, and our immune response is also changing. So this changing mutation inside the virus, or sometimes mutation in our immune system, causes sometimes difficult for the scientists to develop exact vaccine for the human being so that their immune response functions properly. Phases of vaccine. In what phases the vaccine is being developed? There are 4 phases. In phase 1, we test the safety of the vaccine, where small group of people are volunteered to take the vaccines. The challenging model of this vaccine is that sometimes, or sometimes not, many a times the vaccine failed in the first phase only, because it is the most crucial phase which tests the safety of the vaccine. So if the vaccine is safe, then we move to phase 2, where large group of several hundred individuals participate in this phase 2 testing. Some of the individuals may belong to group at risk of acquiring the disease, and some are not. Here we check the immunogenicity. Immunogenicity is that how the immune response is responding to the virus, the immune system responding to the virus, or how the virus is producing antigen inside the body, or how the body is producing antibodies against the virus. All these studies are being made in phase 2. Phase 3 is to assess vaccine safety in a large group of people of different age group. Certain rare side effects might not surface in smaller group of subjects tested in earlier phases. Then after that we move to phase 4, which are optional studies that drug companies may conduct after a vaccine is released. When the vaccine is ready for delivery and manufacturing, they enter in phase 4. Generally, after phase 3, if the vaccine is safe, it is being transported all over the country. But if someone wants some more safety, then the vaccine move to phase 4. And after phase 4, we are more confirmed that the vaccine is 100% safe. All these phase 4, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, different age groups people participate, because we have to study vaccine on different age groups, because every person responds differently according to their immune system, according to their age. So this vaccine is need to study on each and every age group of the people. Okay, now this is some top pharma companies that are in India that are working for COVID vaccine. We should be proud that the 2 vaccine which is produced by the India are approved by the government for emergency use. That is Covaxin and Covishield. Covaxin, which is produced by Bharat Biotech, and Covishield, that is produced by Serum Institute. But Serum Institute is working in collab with AstraZeneca, that the Oxford vaccine, which is producing the Codagenix and AstraZeneca vaccine, and Zydus Cadila, which is working independently and had produced ZyCoV-D vaccine. Panacea Biotech produced Refena vaccine. Indian Immunologicals, they are hence not discovered at any name. Minex under trials, name yet not announced, and Biological E under trials, name yet not announced. So these are the top 7 pharma companies which are working for COVID vaccine, where Covaxin and Covishield has been approved by the government for its emergency use. These are some pharma companies worldwide that are working for COVID vaccine, under which the famous Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine is already being delivered to 5 lakhs people in US, and some other companies are still working on the vaccine. And in India, the Pfizer vaccine has been allowed by government for its emergency use. These are the list of top 7 vaccines which are approved worldwide by WHO, which can be used for the common people, where Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, Moderna vaccine, Sinovac vaccine, this Wuhan Institute of Biological Product vaccine, Gamaleya Research Institute vaccine, Beijing Institute, Federal Budgetary Research Institute vaccine. All these 7 primary developers has named their vaccines differently, and they have used different vaccine techniques, which I will explain further how this technique works. And some company are working independently, some are working in collaboration, depending upon their need. Now let's talk about how this technique work and what are the types of vaccines. types of COVID-19. If we talk normally, there are 5-6 types of vaccines: live attenuated vaccine, inactivate or killed vaccine, subunit vaccine, conjugated vaccine, DNA RNA vaccine, viral vector vaccine. How these vaccines are being produced? If I talk normally that how these vaccines are produced, what the scientists do, they take a piece of virus, they study the whole genome sequence of the virus and make one gene silent, that gene which is responsible for causing disease or illness inside the human body. They make that gene silent or make that gene not to trigger any response inside the human body. And after silencing that gene, the virus become inactivated or attenuated. And after that, it can again introduced inside the human body, where it cannot produce any disease, and then by that time the body can recognize that virus and can produce antibodies against that virus. This is how a vaccine works inside the human body. Now the type of virus, live attenuated. What is live attenuated virus? That means here virus is not exactly killed, it is half lived, but it is half dead also. The dead part is that gene which is responsible for causing illness inside the human body, and the live part is that the virus is producing antigen, but slowly, so that the body gets time to produce antibodies against the virus. When that live attenuated virus enters inside the body in form of vaccine, virus produce antigen and the body gets time to produce antibodies against that antigen. So when B cell knew that that a new virus has come, then the B cell has to produce antibodies. Then the B cell divide into memory cell and plasma cell. That memory cell is like chip for our immune system. All the information is stored inside the memory cells. All kind of antibodies are stored inside the memory cells. That if after 1 year if the same virus attack our body, memory cell get to know that the same virus is entering, then memory cell will release antibodies according to that virus and will get cure in 2 to 3 days from that major illness. This is how a whole immune system works after getting a vaccine. And what does inactivated vaccine means? Inactivated means the virus is fully killed. Why somewhere we are using half live virus and why somewhere using fully killed virus? In fully killed virus, the fully killed mechanism is only used when the virus is so much strong than the human immune system. But here in the vaccine of COVID, majorly RNA vaccine and live attenuated vaccine is used, not inactivated vaccine majorly used. Okay, but here I want to talk majorly about the DNA RNA vaccine, which is in the major discussion, and this is how the Covaxin, Pfizer, Moderna, Covishield and all other COVID vaccine are produced. That is messenger RNA vaccine mechanism. How does this works? RNA vaccines are new generation of vaccines. Instead of the antigen itself, RNA vaccine contain a messenger RNA that encodes for the antigen. Once inside the body, once this messenger RNA entered inside the human body, it translated into protein, and the antigen by the same process the cell used to make their own protein. Then the antigen is displaced on the cell surface where it is recognized by the immune response. From here, the sequence of event is similar to that of the conventional vaccine. That means after this, when messenger RNA enters inside the human body, it produces protein inside the body, and body gets to know that what type of protein it is producing, then it produces antibodies against it. And after that, the work of this vaccine is same as the conventional vaccine or all other vaccines do. Only the major difference here is that we are using the messenger RNA of coronavirus, and that messenger RNA carries information of protein, and we are entering inside the human body. The protein will multiply inside the human body, and then body will produce antibody against that protein. Okay, this is how the COVID-19 vaccine or the Pfizer, Moderna, Covishield or Covaxin is being develop. Symptoms are like fever, vomit, headache, muscle pain, etc. These are the common symptoms anaphylactic reaction has type 1. Some cases of allergic reaction in patients that are seen after taking that Pfizer vaccine. Like all new drugs, COVID-19 vaccines that have been authorized in Western countries with some safety concern and side effects, many people are developing certain allergic reaction after taking two shots, one from the Pfizer and BioNTech and another from the Moderna. They have experienced fever, headache and pain at the site of injection which last for 10 to 12 days. That is called anaphylaxis, type 1 allergic reaction. First case of this allergic reaction was registered on 19 December from the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention, where 2 cases of anaphylaxis associated with Pfizer vaccine in UK and 6 in USA. A healthcare worker in Alaska who received the shot has been hospitalized for overnight. Later in the month in Israel, the person which have taken the Pfizer vaccine suffered from anaphylactic shock and after an hour of receiving the vaccine. He said he did had earlier reactions to penicillin. And a physician in Boston with a shellfish allergy reported having an anaphylactic reaction to Moderna. But none of the patients resulted to death. See, having allergic reaction from the vaccine will be anaphylactic type of reaction, that is type 1. We can say that it is a common type of reaction which is not severe and doesn't result to death. This COVID vaccine is new for our human body, so it is common sense that our body will respond. Some humans have strong immune response, so they will not have any types of allergic reaction. But if some patient have an allergic reaction in their history, so automatically they will develop some types of reaction due to this vaccine. So they need to talk to their doctor for after taking the COVID-19 vaccines or earlier taking COVID-19 vaccine. Some side effects of these vaccines, which I have already told, that muscle pain, chills, joint pain, fever, vomiting, etc. Now, why COVID-19 vaccine need 2 shots? Why not 1 shots? You must be listening in news that Serum Institute have 300 billion doses, 600 billion doses, which will be given to 300 million people. That means that 300 million people will be getting doses 2 times. Not all COVID vaccine need 2 shots, but many of them do. But why sometimes vaccine needs 2 shots and why sometimes only 1 shot, that depends upon the power of that virus or bacteria and power of the immune system of humans. Here, after mutation, the coronavirus has become more strong than the human immune, so it needs 2 shots. Sometimes the virus is not as strong as to immune response, so 1 shot is also enough for the for that vaccine. But here, COVID is new to the environment, human immune system is new to the COVID vaccine, so it needs 2 shots. Pfizer developed the vaccine and they told that after the gap of 21 days this vaccine need to be taken. What does the body do in that gap of 21 days? Body develop immune response against that vaccine. After 1 shots, the B cells get to know that we are getting antigen against some virus. So then body produce some antigen against that antibody against that antigen. Another COVID vaccine like Moderna, they have not far behind, but will probably be approved that they need to get 2 shots, but in a days of 28 days. That depends on the power of their vaccine and the method they have chosen to produce the vaccine. Pfizer needs 21 days apart, Moderna needs 28 days apart. Some vaccine in US require only 1 shot, but other who are under trial require 2 shots. Right now there are about 230 COVID-19 vaccine being developed around the world, and it is possible that most of them require only 1 shot, but studies say that that 2 shots will be more effective. How effective is the first vaccine shot? If any human being has taken only one shot of the vaccine, what does type of reaction body do? If the human taking both the shots, what does the body do? When the vaccine requires two shots, the first shot make your immune system ready for the virus and recognize it, while the second shot strengthens your immune system and the body prepared itself to fight for the infection in near future. For Pfizer vaccine, first shot make the vaccine 52% effective and second shot makes it 95% effective. The time gap in the first shot and the second shot is very crucial. So make sure that you wear mask and maintain social distancing. Here's the question arising that if one person, if he or she is suffering from COVID-19 or being hospitalized, then he need to be take for the vaccine. Recently, the government has approved that to take the vaccine is being volunteer for everyone who are being infected or not being infected or is being hospitalized at that time. How vaccine has been distributed in India? Cold chain is a system of storing and transporting vaccines at recommended temperatures from the point of manufacture to its use. Thus, cold chain involves three major components: planes, trucks, cold storage warehouse. Without a proper cold chain facility, vaccine face the risk of being exposed of temperature outside the recommended range. Temperature at which the vaccine is stored is -50 to -15 degrees Celsius. Other traditional vaccines like BCG, polio, they are kept under 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. But every different vaccines have their different temperature. But most commonly, all the COVID vaccine, they are stored under much colder temperatures only. Why does this negative temperature is needed to store the vaccines? What does the negative and positive temperature differ? Why the BCG vaccine is stored in positive temperature and why the COVID-19 vaccine is stored in negative temperature? BCG vaccine hasn't used the messenger RNA technique, but the COVID-19 vaccine has used the messenger RNA technique. Under negative temperature, the reaction is slow. Under this negative temperature, this vaccine can be stored over 1 month because the reaction is so slow that the messenger RNA cannot be broken down by any enzymes. So this negative temperature is very important for COVID-19 vaccine or any type of vaccine which is produced by messenger RNA technique, so that RNA cannot be degraded by any type of enzyme because reaction is very slow under negative temperature. App registration for COVID-19 vaccine, you are being heard that all the frontline workers will be provided first with COVID vaccine. Then how each and every frontline worker will get the vaccine? There are approx millions of frontline workers across the country. So the government has made CoWIN app, that is COVID vaccine intelligence work, where every frontline worker have to register their name, their occupation, their address, and then they will get a message that they have to reach at the vaccination center and at what time. But recently this app is not working. If you download it from the Play Store at the apps or the App Store, this is under progression. So after once it is completed, all the frontline worker have to register their name under this. This is being approved by DCGI, Drug Control General of India, and also approved and been restricted from the emergency use. Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech are ready to supply vaccine for the first phase of the vaccination, which will include all the frontline workers and the person who are above 50 years of age, and all they need to register on this app. Point to be noted. What the point to be noted after all this whole discussion? That COVID-19 vaccine is one of the most powerful tools we have to stop the pandemic. Getting it along with wear masks, social distancing is the best way to protect you, your family and your friends. Thank you.